Good evening. Welcome to Empower, the program that focuses on people and workplace. I'm glad that you're together with us today, and this is the day the Lord has made, and you're going to learn together. So last week, we started on something very, very important. We were continuing on work and faith. We said it's faith and work, because we first start with faith, then we come to the workplace. And you're still on that line, because we believe that God has kept us in the marketplace, wherever we are, so that we can become who God wants us to be. My name is Beatrice Chuchu, and today I'm not alone again. I'm with a guest who is special to me, and I want him to introduce himself. Welcome.
Thank you, Beatrice.
Yes.
My name is Stephen Ngaro Yamboro. I am born again.
Amen.
And I work for Philips Therapeutics Limited as a CEO, Medical Devices Division.
Wow.
I'm also senior pastor with Gospel Centers International,
Yes.
Thika Road Church. Yes.
Oh, great. So if I call you pastor, I'm good.
You're absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, I like when I'm dealing with a pastor to use the word pastor instead of name.
Yep.
So thank you. So you can hear what we have ahead of us. We are going to learn a lot from a professional who is talented, who is blessed, who is also serving the Lord in the ministry. And so, Pastor, last week, for about 4 weeks now, we've been looking at faith and work. Because we believe that God has placed us wherever we are as Christians to make a difference. And today our focus mainly in how can we make a difference in that workplace, and especially on excellence. Because I'm believing that if we are to show Christ wherever we are, then we must do things the right way. Because if I take you back to the Bible and see what God was able to do from the beginning, we see God himself did things in the best way possible. Okay, the best way for God. Because he did and said, the first day, I was reading the Bible, creation. After the first day, he said it was good. The second day, like that. After the last day, he says, it is very good. He looked at everything he had done and it was very good. That tells us, if we are to emulate Christ, then we can't fall short of that. Because that is excellence. It was very good. Everything was in place. I can imagine if he had confusion here and there, the world would be in trouble. But God did it well. We are Christians following him. So we want to make that difference in the workplace, in the marketplace, wherever we are. So when you think about that, I'm thinking that first, for me to be able to make that difference, it starts with my character as a Christian. So what did you say about it, starting with the character aspect?
I'm glad you started with the question of excellence.
Yes.
Because God, in his own way, is excellent, and that is his nature.
Yes.
But man who was meant to be having the character of God,
Yes.
and therefore excellence as part of him, fell short.
Yes.
And because of that, man by nature is not excellent.
Yes.
But as one becomes a believer, then you look at being like Christ. The image of God becomes your primary responsibility to be transformed
Yes.
daily in everything that you do, that you endeavor to be transformed to be Christ-like.
Yes.
And if you are being transformed to Christ-like, you are being transformed to God-like. Because Christ said, I do that which my Father sent me to do.
Yes.
In John chapter 14, Jesus tried to demonstrate who he is,
Yes.
and where he came from. And there were questions that were raised by his disciples.
Yes.
One asked, show us the Father. Then he said, if you have seen me, you have seen the Father.
Yes.
The other one said, show us the way. He said, I am the way, the truth. So the excellence, the godly excellence is embodied in Christ. And we as Christians are being transformed daily to be Christ-like. So at some point in our Christian maturity, we should be able to demonstrate that indeed we have transformed from a carnal mind who is not, or carnal man who is not pure or excellent, towards Christ-like. And there should be clear demonstration of that change. Now, coming to character, you will not talk about character as a believer unless you go back to your purpose.
Yes.
You cannot talk about character until you go back to your purpose.
Yes.
Our character should be godlike. But Jeremiah 29:11 gives us an indication of our starting point, where God was telling Jeremiah, I knew you be formed, you were formed in your mother's womb, and I appointed you even before you were born.
Yes.
And for a specific purpose that you need to fulfill.
Yes.
So talking about character, therefore, as believers, we need to ask ourselves this question.
Yes.
Who are we? What is our purpose? And are we fulfilling that? And are we being transformed to character? Now, subject of character is very important in the sense that it brings out who we are in our inside. Character is what we are.
Yes.
And it doesn't come out from the blues. It has to be deliberate effort.
Yes.
The beginning of that effort is with God, as I've said,
Yes.
who has a purpose in us.
Yes.
The second one is on Christ,
Yes.
who saved us, okay, for his own
Yes.
purpose and his own glory.
Yes.
The third, then it's our responsibility. Our responsibility in that we need to know who we ought to be and therefore start working towards that. If we do understand that,
Yes.
then we will be able to work on our inward man. And when the inward man is transformed,
Yes.
the outward man is
Yes.
definitely transformed.
You're right, yeah.
And if the outward man is transformed, he will demonstrate who he is. What we see is the result, and
Yes.
that is what we call character.
Wow. Now, Pastor, you've brought up something very interesting. You say that you cannot talk of character living out purpose. Someone need to know their purpose. So I ask you a question. Sometimes people don't know their purposes, and someone may ask, okay, and I've had people asking this question, how do I know my purpose? Maybe as a pastor, you can advise us, what do we know? How do we know?
Yeah. Now, it's important for people, and particularly believers, to understand their purpose.
Yes.
You can understand your purpose if you are aligned to your Maker. It's, as a believer, we know that we are where we are who we are because,
Yes.
as I said, God has a purpose for us.
He does.
So unless you have aligned yourself with your Maker,
Yes.
then you will not know what purpose you are for. And that is characterized by the giftings that God has put in us. The gifting, you need to understand the strengths that God has put in you,
Yes.
the potential that God has put in you, and be able to start pulling them out. As you pull them out,
Yes.
you will be starting to see where that strength
Yes.
is directing you. And prayerfully, you will be able to know
Yes.
where your purpose is actually. And your purpose, when you operate within your purpose, there is happiness, there is comfort, there is satisfaction in what you do. And it's not so much that you must do that.
Yes.
It is what you gain out of it, inward joy and inward satisfaction. Probably I explained this, and I had a chat with a group of young people, and I was asking them very deliberate questions.
Yes.
as you are growing up, actually, young people who are professionals, they're now in the industry.
Yes.
And I asked them this question. When you were in the when you were in primary school, lower primary,
Yes.
there was this question that used to be asked, what would you like to become?
Yes.
And then each one of them said, pilot, doctor,
Big
teacher.
things. Yes.
And then I asked, okay, fine, you went from lower primary, you went to class 5. Did that change?
Yes.
Said, slightly. What about when you got to class 8 and you sat for your exam?
Yes.
Were you still wishing or willing to do what you wanted to do in the beginning?
Yes.
A number of them said yes. A few of them said yes. Majority of them said no. They had now changed.
Yes.
So, okay, fine. We went further and I said, okay, fine, you got to your Form 4, ready to go to university. By the time I was getting there,
Yes.
all of them had changed.
Wow.
Then they went to university, came out, and now they're in the
Yes.
industry and are working.
Yes.
A majority of them are not doing what they thought they would do,
yes.
even what they did in the university. The question was, do you think you're fulfilling your purpose therefore? Now, some of them were confused.
Of course, I would be also.
Others were like, yes. Those who said yes, I went further and asked them, why? And they said, I like what I do. I have the passion for it. And I feel that whenever I do it, I am absolutely happy.
Yes.
And I can put in more hours for what I'm doing,
Yes.
regardless of whether I'm getting paid or I'm not getting paid.
Yes.
Then, for that person, I said, you have found your purpose.
Beautiful. Yeah, they're getting that satisfaction.
They're getting
They're
that
enjoying it.
satisfaction.
They're happy.
Exactly.
It's coming from the heart.
And they can do it even for free. Only that they need to
Yes.
to put food on the table.
I know.
Otherwise, they would still do it for free.
They would still do it. Yeah, actually, we say if you love something or you have the passion for something, that in case someone wakes you up at midnight and tell you, Beatrice, you know what? I want you to do this, and you're like, yes, I'm ready. Yeah. And you don't even struggle because it's something you love doing, you like it, it's something you enjoy, you're not forced to take. We are taking a short break. And when we come back, Pastor, I want us to look at spirit of excellence at the marketplace, referring mainly to Daniel, because the Bible brings up the aspect of Daniel, the way he worked, the way he did well. And actually, he amazes me. And we want to emulate him in what we are doing. So we are glad that you're together with us, and I believe that you're learning with us. If you don't know your purpose, it is good you tell the Lord, Lord, please guide me. He's faithful, he holds our purpose, and he's happy when we accomplish what his purpose is. So we're taking a short break, don't go far. We'll be right back.